Hello, I am Steve Roque with Freedom Group Global, Keller Williams Infinity, and today I have Vicki Parker, who is one of the authors of Overcoming Mediocrity, Unstoppable Women, and one of the founders of the Fearlessly Unstoppable and Victorious community on Facebook and Instagram and a few other places. So, hi Vicki, how are you doing today?
Hey Steve, I'm doing great, thanks. And thanks
Perfect.
for having me here.
Well, thank you for coming. How did you get started with the Fearlessly Unstoppable and Victorious community, or get into the book writing?
So, two of the other authors from the Overcoming Mediocrity series who had written in the Overcoming Mediocrity Fearless book had been speaking with me, and Kimberly Genovese suggested that I share my story. And so I have always imagined that at some point in life I would write in a book or write a book. And I have a speaking career that I, at that time, was also kicking off. And it seemed like the opportune time to write in a book. And I also, at that time, was getting certified in a methodology of coaching called BANK. And so I thought this was the perfect way to introduce everything that I was up to.
Great. So that is all laid out in the book then, kind of what you were up to and how you were unstoppable in pursuing your dreams, I imagine.
Yes, not just my dreams, but my story in particular talks about a job that I had that was what I was calling really my perfect job. And I was living in Chicago. I was working in New York. I love New York. I love theater. I was able to connect with people in my family during the week after work. And then I was able to go home to Chicago and live my life in Chicago on the weekends. It was really amazing. And that came to a screeching halt. And so my story talks about how I did not allow that to stop me. And I, in fact, went on to accomplish many other things. And I do share inside of that story how I, not only how I overcame that, but what I do to move my game forward. And it's something I call the Parker method. So I share that in the book. It's called Overcoming Mediocrity.
So buy the book if you want the Parker method. Right?
That's right.
All right.
And yeah, so that's how I became part of this community. And, you know, it's been really super fun because there are so many different ways to look at the Overcoming Mediocrity series, but there's also so many different ways of looking at what it means to be fearless. And we're really out to cause 1 million people living their lives fearlessly.
Right. So we took the Unstoppable book, the Victorious book, and the Fearless Women book, and put them all together into one community. And so what do people love about, the community, or what do you love about being a part of that community of fearless, unstoppable, and victorious people, not just women, right?
Yeah, not just women, no. Although we do have a lot of women who are on board, but what I really love is connecting with people and finding out what they're up to in their life, finding out what stops them, finding out where fear stops them, and having conversations about that, and then also introducing them to the community and being able to engage with people, no matter what it is. And it might be that the littlest things to one person are stopping someone else from moving forward, and people engage with one another and are able to actually talk through and have conversations about that. What I love about being part of this community too is we listen to the community to find out what they need, and we adapt. And so it's been really fun. And of course, our kickoff event on our Fearless tour was jumping out of an airplane.
Right.
So not everybody has a desire to jump out of an airplane, and not everybody finds that a fearful experience, but most people would say that there's some level of...
At least the first time, right? You're going to have a little bit, you're crazy, I think, if you don't have a little bit of fear of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. So,
out of a perfectly good airplane, that is true.
Right.
So that was super fun to do, and just have a great sense of community with the group.
Perfect. What is next on the agenda for the community to accomplish?
Well, we actually have a lot of things going on right now. So the cool thing is we have five founders of the community who are all up to different things and similar things and working together to accomplish different things in life. But we've come together collectively to introduce our book club. So that's kind of the next thing for the entire community as a whole. And so we're creating a book club for the Overcoming Mediocrity Unstoppable community, for the Overcoming Mediocrity Fearless community, and for the Overcoming Mediocrity Victorious community. And so viewers and readers and those people who are engaging in our community can actually purchase our book and join one or all three of the book clubs. And so it's really fun. You get to choose, and we're going to be meeting and talking about the different stories. May have an opportunity to actually meet some of the authors. And with the Unstoppable book, we've got several different stories. Regina tells her story about being a model and overcoming the New York mentality about what it takes to be a model. And she tells her story about how she ended up being a Ford model, a top model in the world. And she was originally told that she needed to alter some things, and she refused to do that. And so she tells her story. I tell my story. Marin Olsak tells her story and talks about her dancing and how she's dancing through life. And then Danica Joan tells her story and how her story about being an alienated parent actually has moved her into this stage of life. And she's now working with families who are going through high conflict custody cases. So all of our stories are significantly different. And you can listen as one of our readers to identify how you actually can relate to those stories, but then also to maybe identify where your story is. So it's kind of
the book club will allow people to read it and discuss and talk to you, the author, in person during that process.
Yeah.
And just really get more in depth into those stories. So that's fantastic. So the book can be purchased on omfearless.com, right? That's the website. And then on Facebook, Fearlessly Unstoppable and Victorious is what you'd search for. We'll put a link here in the video or in the comments somewhere so that people can find that easily, and then also on Instagram. Is there anything else you'd like to share about either the books or the communities or anything else that you're up to?
Absolutely. Thanks. Yeah. So one thing, I invite everyone to not only join the community, but to engage in the community. And you can actually post in the community what you're up to, where you experience being fearless, unstoppable, and victorious in your life, or when you want to honor someone else who is being that way. I recently shared a story about my mom and how she's been unstoppable and overcoming a severe injury in a car accident. And it's really great because I think we all can relate to the different things that people go through in their life. And right now I'm having fun. I'm actually on my first international training program, and I'm going to be training throughout Canada. And so I am fearlessly unstoppable and victorious in working with, I've got all men on my tour, and many of them speak French. And so I am going to challenge myself to learn French while I'm in Canada on this tour. So that's my next adventure. And there are so many things happening right now in my life that are really, really exciting. But that's the one I want to share today.
Fantastic. It seems like you're having a lot of fun doing that and getting out there. And thank you for joining today for this conversation, and wish you the best of luck with everything. And again, Vicki Parker with Fearlessly Unstoppable and Victorious, one of the authors in the Unstoppable Women books of Overcoming Mediocrity. And thank you for watching, and have a great day, and keep subscribe and get the next interview that comes along. So
thanks, Steve.
Vicki.
Thanks, everybody.